Beloved, I am Michael, the great Archangel of strength, clarity, and divine sovereignty. In this hour I speak into your being, seeking to awaken in you a power long whispered but too seldom claimed, the power of energetic boundaries. The age beckons for souls who understand that light is not passive, it frames, it forms, it protects, it holds. As more awaken, more must learn to define their edges, to honor their field, to stand in presence that does not collapse under pressure. It is not enough to shine, you must also guard your flame. This message is an initiation, a calling, a guardian's map for those who are rising into greater purpose. Boundaries are the membranes of integrity, the invisible cord that preserves your energy, voice, and soul from diffusion. Without clear energetic edges, your light leaks, your will fragments, and your capacity to serve becomes tangled in obligation, resentment, or depletion. Many have lived believing that boundaries are harsh or unloving, that to protect one's field is to deny love. That is a myth of separation. The truth is that healthy boundaries enable greater love, because love without integrity becomes sacrifice, distortion, collapse. The awakened soul knows that every yes must be held within the authority of no. You do not give your flame away to justify your compassion. Begin by seeing boundary as reflex, not armor. A strong no is not a barrier against life, it is an aperture for truth. You may feel small when you say no, you may fear losing love or acceptance. Yet every sacred boundary is actually a carving of space for what truly aligns. When you stand in your yes and your no with clarity, the field around you adjusts, people shift, mirrors align, resonance clarifies. Many spiritual paths teach detachment, but detachment without boundary is collapse. True freedom arises when detachment is girded with structure. The awakened soul is clear, not brittle, firm, not rigid. You must learn to sense your threshold. Your threshold is the felt edge where your field meets the world. It is not always verbal, sometimes it registers as a tone in your body, tension in the chest, a flinch in the spine, a tightness in the throat. When you sense your threshold, you act, you pause, you protect, you choose. In moments when you disregard threshold cues, you violate yourself. Over time, such violations erode your power, dim your center, and confuse your field. Practice catching early signals. Cultivate a somatic language, let your body speak before your mind races. Let the felt sense be your first guide. The sword of Michael is one of your primary boundary tools, not a weapon of aggression, but a clear light of discernment that severs energetic cords that are no longer aligned with your highest path. You may wield it in inner work. Imagine a blade of crystalline light sweeping old entanglements, cutting psychic cords, releasing invasive templates. Use it in prayer, in meditation, in mental clearing. Invite me, Michael, to walk your perimeter, to light your edges with golden fire, to ensure your field is suffused but not surrendered. Yet no, the sword is not born of fear, it is born of love. It cuts what is not life so that life may breathe more clearly in you. Many resist boundaries for fear of conflict, shame, abandonment. The fear says, if I draw a line, I lose love. The deeper truth is, if you lose love by drawing a line, that love was a contract, not a covenant. The awakened path demands that your relationships respect your sovereignty. If someone cannot meet you there, do not collapse your boundary to preserve connection. Let authenticity be the magnet. Prosper in the love of those who can mirror you in integrity. Boundaries shift in degrees and context. You might hold a firm boundary in one area of life and be more fluid in another. This is not hypocritical, it is wise. Your energy changes by relationship, by role, by season. Learn to calibrate. What you allow in your heart space may differ from what you tolerate in your work field. Boundaries are not walls, but filters. You decide what energizes you, what feeds you, and what you will no longer permit. This discernment is a practice, an art, a lifelong cultivation. There will be times when your boundary is tested by loved ones, by the collective, by your own inner voices of guilt or hesitation. Those are thresholds of maturation. At those moments you may feel the surge to retreat or to cancel your boundary. Choose instead to return to your center. Breathe into your field. Visualize your boundary glowing with clarity. Reaffirm your commitment. Sometimes you may speak, sometimes you may remain silent. But do not abandon your limit for the sake of peace. The robust path is not to collapse but to refine your stance, to welcome the friction that helps you sharpen. In relationships, boundary work is sacred. Part of loving another is allowing them to choose their own space while you guard yours. You might say, "I love you. I hold you. But this is not acceptable to me." Speak your truth with compassion, act from clarity. Relationship is not binding contract, it is covenant of souls in agreement. If the agreement is violated, renegotiate or release with dignity. Do not cling to connection at cost of self-betrayal. The most loving presence is one that respects the sanctity of each field. In your communal work, your activism, your service boundary is more urgent. The world will demand you, drain you, solicit you. Many light workers collapse under the weight of others' expectations. Your boundary in service is a sacred posture. You give what you have, not what you do not. You choose what impact you carry, how much you commit, what conditions you agree to. You say no to causes that ask you to abandon your center for ideals not your own. You say yes to fields that align with your soul's signature. You steward your energy so that your service endures without collapse. Do not confuse boundary with separation. Boundary is not isolation, it is containment. You may be open to dialogue, to listening, to shifting patterns, but the container is non-negotiable. Boundary retains connection without surrender. It allows you to give without dissolving. It allows you to receive without fear. It allows you to respond, not react. It creates space for love to flow through, not around, not from depletion. As you anchor these boundaries more solidly, your field reorients. You become a magnet not for demand, but for resonance. People gravitate toward your clarity. Your yes are meaningful and your nos have weight. Your presence becomes stabilizing in that around you sense you are protected, but not cut off. You become a mirror of how love, power, and softness may live in harmony. Expect backlash. Some will resist your boundary as a threat, especially if they relied on your permeability. Some will push to see if you will bend. Some inner voices will chide you for being harsh, unkind, selfish. Meet them with compassion and firmness. Correct misinterpretation. Reaffirm your intention. If there is harm in how you carry your boundary, repair with humility, but do not rescind your edge. The healed boundary is stronger after correction. In moments of doubt, anchor in your higher self. Remind yourself of your mission. The awakened path demands you guard the vessel so light may flow. You are not meant to drain in service, you are meant to amplify through strength. Your boundary is your ally, not your enemy. Practice this, begin each day with a boundary reset. Stand, breathe, visualize your field, see its edge, reinforce it. Dedicate your field to purpose. I will protect my integrity, guard my heart, hold clarity. End the day by reviewing where your boundary held, where it wavered, where it needs strengthening. Note the relational lessons. Adjust. Renew. Tend. Let me, Michael, walk your perimeter. Let my presence be your first boundary. Call me when your edges feel messy, when you feel drained, when love is being asked to surrender too much. I will stand beside you, sword aloft, shield ready, light firm. In your strength you gift others permission to do the same. In your boundary you teach love its highest shape. The time of awakening requires you not only to shine but to stand. Not only to give, but to guard. Not only to merge, but to define. Your boundary is sacred. Your flame is precious. Your sovereignty is essential. Walk with me, beloved, in fierce tenderness, and let your luminous presence arise clear, strong, free.